Hello.
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 Hey. Hey. Whoa, technical glitch city. Oh my goodness. We only just now had our phones turned on and it took me 10 minutes to get through. Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
Your first call, I think, just went straight to voicemail, and it's a little frustrating when that happens. We're always like in a little bit of a panic because we don't want you to think that we're not answering the phone or anything. But how are you tonight?
We are doing good. I mean, there was like about a 3-hour break in all of our services. So we couldn't use our tablets, we couldn't use the wall phones or anything. So it was a total comms blackout, and I have heard that it used to be a lot more common than it is now. So I'll have to remember when I call my wife later on tonight that I have to tell her not to worry if she can't get through to me. But yeah, that's apparently something that happens, and I thought, this was going to be like the first night since I've been here, we didn't do the anthem, so, I mean, it's good news that we have a service now, but sometimes it can be spotty, so.
Well, was there any reason as to why they had you all on a blackout for 3 hours, or just because they could?
Well, actually, I kind of noticed there was a light flicker, so I thought there might have been some kind of infrastructure thing, beyond what we could, ascertain immediately in our environs. So, but I have heard that they did sort of randomly turn the calling power on and off before. But when that happens, I think they lose a lot of money because we spend a lot of time on the pay side. I think the CCF side of the DC Detention Center spends a lot of time over there as well. So, and I don't think it's just us here in the pod. So, I think other pods experience that outage as well.
No, communications are a big racket. It costs a lot of money between the tablets and the phone calls. So, of course, they're making a tremendous amount of money. So it's kind of, weird that they would just go ahead and cut that off for 3, 6 a day, whatever hours that they, do randomly and occasionally. I just think that that's kind of on purpose sometimes, depending on who's kind of running the place, what CO's on duty, I believe. I don't know. I may be wrong about that.
Well, I'm not sure the CO would have much pull with something like that, but you never know. You never know how that turns out. So, and they are pretty notorious, like changing things up just to see how people will react to them. So it's always a fun little game, psychological game. Anyway, I have something I've written to read tonight. If you have time.
Yes, of course we have time. It's all you.
Okay. All right, cool. Here we go. This week marks a remarkable coincidence that shows a great hypocrisy. And while we're at it, let's add a heaping bit of irony to the mix. This is the week where Congress started to lay out the case that our current president, Joe Biden, has long engaged in corrupt pay-to-plays access schemes with various countries, including our greatest geopolitical and military foe, the People's Republic of China. It's also the week that the actor who played Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movies has passed. And you might remember, I brought up this story up before, that there was a cadre of bureaucrats in the Trump administration who let the media know that they had banded together as a secret inside government resistance movement. Their goal was to gum up the works, to deliberately sabotage the Trump administration using any means available to them. Inspired by the resistance movement in J.K. Rowling's book series, they called themselves Dumbledore's Army. According to the article, their actions were justified based on the mere suspicion that President Trump may have been a pawn of Russia, the same country that Hillary Clinton took great pains to cooperate with, the same country that President Obama ridiculed candidate Romney for even seeing as a threat in the first place. This so-called army, if they ever actually existed and weren't just a figment of the media's imagination, probably didn't know it then, but they were playing a dangerous game. They created a precedent. There is far more plain evidence that Biden is in the pocket of Xi Jinping than Trump was controlled by Putin. There's far more evidence that Hunter Biden committed crimes of influence peddling and human sex trafficking than there is that anyone committed sedition on January 6th. Recall that the sedition charges are all thought crimes. Those currently suffering under them, those sentences, did not commit such an act. The accusation is that they may have thought about it. So the same crowd that constantly crows no one is above the law seem fine dismissing the criminal acts of their own party members on the one hand, while railing against the mere idea of a crime if the person suspected holds beliefs which are politically inconvenient. The Dumbledore's army showed us that the members of our bureaucracy don't operate indifferent. They are not operating in a manner indifferent to moral and ethical matters related to carrying out their daily activities and duties, and yet we hear no such resistance movement now, do we? But there can only be two explanations for this discrepancy. Both are damning to the bureaucrats. One is that they knew from the start that the stories, the Trump-Russia stories, which the DOJ and FBI fabricated, were never true. Their little press leak was merely an attempt to try to turn up the heat in the news and help the media convince the public that our nation was in a state of semi-occupation by a hostile foreign power. In other words, they were trying to lend credence to a story they knew was a lie. Because the whole story was never true, they committed the liar's sin. They forgot they lied and didn't feel compelled to deal with the precedent years later. The other explanation is that we can say for the sake of argument that the members of Dumbledore's army were sincere but legitimately duped by their own colleagues' treasonous lies regarding Trump. If that is the case, where are they now? Why are they not leaking to the press like they did before? Here, the best explanation is they're complicit with Biden's manifest criminality and are willing participants in the cover-up through their deliberate choice not to act. Neither story can exonerate their actions, and that's why the question, where's Dumbledore's army, begs for answers. We don't want to admit what the data shows. There's been a coordinated effort between the government and the media to undo American democracy and wrest control of the republic from the people. Where is Dumbledore's army? Perhaps the perpetrators of this hoax hope that we will assume the army has gone down to the sepulcher along with Dumbledore's actor, like some ancient pagan king buried with his retinue. But we'll never forget what happened, and we'll never stop asking, where's Dumbledore's army? That's it.
All right.
That was great.
That was amazing, Matt.
Oh my gosh, that was like so spot on everything. You know, I've always thought since day one, and I was never one of those people who, when they initiated COVID on this country, immediately I knew that it was a takedown of the Trump administration and to bring America to its knees. And, you know, everybody, including the left, has been complicit in pushing this lie and this destruction on our country. And, you know, you articulated that really well, Matt. That was amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, when it comes to COVID, I was working with the local Republican Party, and not a single person believed that it was a real thing. And it turns out that, we were right. I mean, COVID is a real disease, but it's not anywhere near as deadly as they said.
Well, it's the flu.
Wasn't the threat that they made it out to be.
That's right. That's absolutely right. They fear-mongered the public, and they, you know, forced these masks and jabs on, you know, our children, and they locked down this country in order to just destroy, you know, the American experience and I can't even pronounce the word. Anyway, you know, what they did, and just using COVID alone, you know, to bring this country down, and, you know, we still have never recovered from that. And my fear is that they're going to reinitiate all of these mask mandates and try to lock the country down again so they can steal another election. It's constantly in the back of my mind. You know, I pray that doesn't happen, but I don't have very high hopes. So.
Well, I do think that there's an attempt to try any means that they have available. And I think if the trials won't work, and they won't, then they'll go to COVID. And then what? I mean, we're going to see a very desperate series of movements by these people. I think one of the things they might do is they might very strongly persuade Biden to step down so that they can run someone else that would be a little bit more credible for the election engineering. Because right now Biden is doing so poorly in his numbers, and he's actually driving people into the Republican Party, which is a pretty amazing thing. Because for years they've been telling us that Trump was the devil, and apparently quite a few former Democrats have seen the light on that, or they don't care about Trump's bad press, and they're just going to the Republicans anyway, because what Biden and the Democrats are doing is so just beyond the pale.
Well, it really is. And I mean, you've got so many people and so many families struggling out here. They can't afford to purchase groceries or gasoline to get to work, and their bills are astronomically high. Gas, water, electric, phone bills, everything's going up. And they say that there's only 8% inflation, and that is just absolute garbage, because the prices in the grocery stores for loaves of bread have gone up to like $4 when they used to be like $1.79, including gasoline. But they can't just sit here and lie to the American people when it's affecting their wallets like it is. So there's only so much that people are going to believe, and I think that a lot of people, to be honest with you, I see it every single day, on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, on social media, that people are really fed up with the Democratic Party, especially the black community. They are truly waking up, and they are seeing that they're being harmed by all of these policies. And I think that everybody just basically wants out. We want this election to get here so that we can get somebody else in, but they want Gavin Newsom, obviously. And I've heard chatter about Oprah Winfrey being the vice president, which that would be an absolute disaster. But
oh my God, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I've always, and for his personal philosophy of always following your bliss, has been one of the single largest social and cultural blights on America in the past 50 years, because she has this idea that you always got to follow your bliss, or you got to do what feels right for you or what feels good for you. And in the wake of that, you have all these divorces and children being sort of disowned, and fathers deciding to change their gender, and mothers deciding to divorce and live in a woman-centric relationship with their lesbian mother and all that stuff. And she does nothing but praise that kind of selfish action, and it's really done a number on America. I think one of the biggest problems we have right now is that people don't have a sense that they have a responsibility to live in a certain way, and they don't have this understanding that life, the good things in life especially, require a certain amount of sacrifice and self-sacrifice, but that even if it's painful, it's a good thing to do in the end, and everyone benefits.
Well, that's very true. And also destroying the nuclear family has been a big part of ruining this country as well. Taking the fathers out of the home, and this, that, and the other. So it's not just one thing; it's multiple things that they're using to create this disaster that we see before us. It's just sad and it's terrible. Do you want to say something, Nicole?
I did. Hey, Matt, thank you for your Sunday write-up. Everybody out there really loves it. If you could ask Reed Christensen what his Gibson Go is, and maybe Jeff or somebody can tell us, they're asking about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, so much.
I'll do that. Okay, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for your patience and everything today.
Of course, we love you.
We're here for y'all.
We're out here for you, and we just want to say goodnight, and we will
be here
you at the
9:15.
anthem. Thank you.
Coming up pretty soon, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Matt.
Good night,
God bless
Matt.
you, Patriot.
God bless you, Patriot.
Night.
Night,
God bless you
Matt.
guys.